Stand by. Stand by.
That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Tonight, a group of Menu Centre fulfillment executives from Territory 4 take on our reigning champions, the CCOs of Territory 11. After that, it's a special programme looking back at the life and career of Peter Clement. That's Just a Job at 7 o'clock. At 9 p.m, it's a chance to see the very first episode of Just the Job, followed at 10 p.m. by a chance to see the very last episode of Just the Job. At 10:45, Dr. Adrian Atkinson-Blimey will be attempting to learn the xylophone in Incisors, and that's immediately followed by the latest episode of our travelogue across the territories at 11:30, where tonight, Jenny Demina will be looking at the old labour camps of the former Urkistan and how they've been converted into luxury holiday camps for the territory's family breaks. The Territory Weather Report takes us into the daily advanced briefing before we spend the night showing you a series of random pages from Terratext, accompanied by offensively inoffensive music. But first, it's over to the newsroom for tonight's National Nightly News.
Good evening, this is the National Nightly News broadcasting across the territories. My name is Megan Wolf. Our top stories tonight. Future legend. It's been 40 days since Disrupt conducted multiple attacks across the territories. During the coordinated action, subsequently dubbed the Night of Fire, emergency services were kept busy at the agricultural centres, while a series of covert attacks were carried out freeing political prisoners, including former newsman Jeremy Donaldson. Nothing has been heard from the missing journalist since the violent Disrupt attack on his convoy 6 weeks ago. Donaldson was on his way back to Betterment after his notorious court appearance. All of us here at Channel 1 hope that wherever he is now, he's safe. Food, glorious food. With the last of the menu centres opening in Territories 5, 8 and 14 today, Advance confirmed that the programme is now in full operation, providing free food for every citizen of the new future. What started as rationing during the 20-week war has blossomed into a social contract that is the envy of the unawakened world. Jack Tractorpants, spokesman for the menu centres, said today that while they can guarantee the contents of every box is nutritious, the actual quality of the meals you cook depends on whether you have a touch of Chef Jordan Rankley or the culinary skills of a professional footballer. If I were a rich man, problems in Territories 11, 17 and 22 today as striking bosses attempted to undermine their new economies. With seemingly no awareness of irony, the former CEOs and MDs have come together to form the Wealth Creators Union, with demands including a return to 150% bonuses, private jets and mandatory grovelling zones. In an annoying show of petulance, the former elites drove their luxury vehicles at 10 miles per hour up and down the motorways of their respective territories. The coordinated protest of elites inconvenienced several 100,000 of their employees. Some fun now. Signs of ever more resistance to Advance's radical policies today as popular resistance movement Disrupt extended their reach further across the territories. The organisation's emblem appeared in every major city across the territories last night in a well-coordinated publicity stunt, which has seen them dominate the headlines. While it's beyond debate that Disrupt's membership is growing at a rapid pace, not everyone seems to be as energetic about it as spokesperson Alan James would have us believe. Especially not this resident of Gothenburg Zoo in Territory 6, who seems remarkably unenthused about global politics. 3 of our regular stories reach their natural conclusions tonight. CEO RIP. Sad news today as the remains of missing Sophia Rimington were found this morning at the company's Grizzlewood facility. Sophia had become ever more reclusive following the total and utter failure of her pet project. Having flung herself into one of the toxic preparation vats, she was only identifiable by her ears. A spokesman for Rimington's Fist said, "Sophia will remain in our hearts and in the approximately 45,000 flowers that rolled off the production line in the last few days. A tragic ending for Sophia Remington after a turbulent 2.5 years since she took over the company. Svorsborg Horgan slaughter. A sad end to the tale of the struggling scientists of Dante's Taint today as reports emerge of a mutual agreement to end it all. With little support from the public and no much-needed supplies from above ground, the academics took the unthinkable decision to drink 18 cans of Diet Stank. Could this catastrophe have been avoided? And what on earth are they putting in that drink? Man United, they're happily ever after for Johnny Hamsleeves and partner and former teammate Eric Justin, who finally tied the knot this week. Speaking as the pair headed off for their honeymoon in Territory 15, Johnny acknowledged that there would be many in the football world who wouldn't accept his choice of partner. I think it's time people grew up, he said. Some people are ginger. Get over. All that, plus we'll be taking a trip to Dangley Parks for the notice board, as well as getting a sneak peek at the hottest ticket in town. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
People of the Territories, today is the day we take back control. Soon it will be time for you to help us again. Come out of your houses, block the traffic, bring the capital to a standstill. I've met so many of you in my travels up and down Territory 1. You always ask the same question: how can I help? Well, this is how. And as for when, you'll know. Keep watching.
But first, 500 days after the loss of a fine leader and a great man, the start of tonight's programme is dedicated to remembering and celebrating the life of Peter Clement. Patrick Bannon is live from Parliament Park, where Julia Salisbury will be breaking ground on what will soon be a memorial garden in Peter's honour.
Yeah, for too much long to that old bitch, lying through her teeth, poor bastard.
Patrick.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
We're live.
Because I'm not being funny. Things were better with Peter, weren't they?
Patrick.
They were, and I don't mind saying it. They were, because he held her back. But now there's no stopping her.
Hello, Patrick, we're
Of
live.
course, can't say that, can I, Francis? No, not with public ownership. No, with public ownership, you can't say anything these days.
There.
Now, she's lost it, mate. She's completely off the rocker. I heard from an aide that... Hello, Megan, you join me here live from the what? Oh.
Seems like we've lost some signal there for a moment. Well, we will be going live to that groundbreaking ceremony just as soon as we can get Patrick back. Meanwhile, let me just say, I think the memorial gardens are going to be gorgeous. I've had a sneak peek at the designs and Alana Marsh has done a fabulous job. Oh, OK, all right, it seems like we have got the signal back. We can now go live to Patrick Bannon in Parliament Park.
Thank you, Megan. I'm Patrick Bannon, and we are indeed live here. Apologies for the technical difficulties there, but any moment now, Julia Salisbury will step out on stage behind me and dedicate the gardens to a great departed leader, Peter Clement. The crowds have been slowly gathering since this afternoon, and the atmosphere here has been bright and cheerful, despite the sombre occasion. And it seems like the ceremony is getting underway. Here is Prime Minister Julia Salisbury, the picture of elegance, to begin her address.
Good evening, fellow teammates and friends. 500 days ago, all of our lives changed irrevocably. Still reeling from the triumphs and tribulations of Liberation Night, another great loss befell the people of these newly united territories. The loss of a leader, a statesman, a dear friend, and a hero. Peter Gordon Clement.
Peter's death at the age of just 62, of course, announced by the team on the 24th of December, just 6 weeks after Liberation Night.
Born to a working-class family on a housing estate in Rotherham, Peter first trained as a carpenter before getting his start on television. First moving and building scenery, and then developing into the personality that we all knew and loved so much.
Just the Job first hit our screens over 25 years ago, running for 11 series, winning multiple awards, and charming audiences up and down the country.
Peter taught us, all of us, not to be content with the way things are, not to accept inequities, no matter how small. But he also taught us what it took to fight them. Courage, integrity, empathy, and hard, bloody graft.
Across a career spanning 3 decades, Peter Clement was known for shows including Wake Up, It's Saturday, and much later, late night chat show Petey, which at its peak drew millions of viewers.
Peter was by no means a saint. Trust me, he once told me he had more regrets than he'd had stolen dinners. He always did have a knack for a turn of phrase. But it speaks to the strength of his character that he chose to share with us his mistakes alongside his achievements, his faults as well as his talents. Peter had the heart to give it all he had for the people of these united territories.
Famous for his potty mouth, it's estimated conservatively that Peter Clement uttered over 1.5 million swear words during his career, though some sources put this figure well in excess of 2 million F-bombs alone.
Gripped by illness as he was in the weeks and months leading up to Liberation Night, he wasn't the man we loved. But his eyes still twinkled with that familiar joy for life, that spark of wit and wisdom of a life lived for others.
Prime Minister Clement, of course, died from apparent liver failure after suffering from the long-term effects of alcohol abuse.
I first met Peter nearly 20 years ago, moments before I was supposed to give a speech. Not unlike this one, actually. Only I'd spilt coffee all down myself, and I was young, nervous, desperate to be liked, and from behind me I heard, "Christ, pet, you've either pissed your kecks or sprung a leak, but either way you got a problem." And before I could even say a word, he'd stripped off his dry trousers and insisted I took them. That was the sort of man that Peter Clement was. Kind, compassionate, sensitive, a brilliant thinker, a natural leader, but mostly a good man. This glorious nation of ours, so beautiful and new, this shining beacon of justice, equality and humanity is his perfect legacy. But despite his accomplishments, the future he forged, the boundaries he pushed, to me, he'll always be the man in his pants cheering on a stranger at the back of the conference. It is my great honour to give to you the Peter Clement Memorial Garden. Shall we see if we can get a countdown going? Everyone with me? 10, 9, 8, 7...
Secure some guy. Mom, we have to get you to safety. Come with us.
I'm not leaving, I can't!
Oi!
You two, come with me! Don't panic! Help us here, look. You're hurting me!
Well, stop resisting then.
Okay. Okay, you two, stay with him.
Mom.
Not resisting! Stay with him! So damn well follow it, do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes,
Yes,
Mom.
Keep your eyes open.
Look at me, stay with me, help me, stay with me. We've got you, I've got you.
Medics are coming, you sit down.
I can't hear you. I'm from the National Nightly News.
Stay with me.
Well, then you can consider this payback.
Please, stay with me. Please, stay with me. We can...
Julius Salisbury!
You were target approaching Songbird.
More than 10 million people! Justice demands a response!
Haven't you done enough? Look around you!
Fucking
This is what your precious freedom looks like, is it? Under fire!
Break windows, draw them out! They can't stop us all! Resist! Lower your weapons!
Mom?
Lower your weapons now!
Centigrade authorization was granted. None.
It was unnecessary. Can't you see?
Will you turn that off, please, sir?
Shut that off. I said turn it off.
Is this not enough? You've just seen them execute unarmed civilians, people like you and me. So why are you watching this? Why are you not in the streets with us tonight? What will it take for you to get up and be a part of this? March on team headquarters, storm the building, demand elections, demand answers. Be what you were born to be, the once and future free.
What that means by now. Don't go away.
It's Crazy Neil with a 25 years of crazy success deal. Mrs. Neil loves money. What do you love?
I love money.
Here, buy yourself something nice. Buy yourself something twice as nice. Buy yourself something thrice as nice. Get yourself down and take some money from Crazy Neil. Pamper yourself and spend, spend, spend. Mrs. Neil, come on in. Tell them about our thrones.
Got big thrones.
Big thrones for big butts. Here, have some money. And the more you spend, the more you save. We've got bigger thrones. Mansion thrones. Thrones you can throw at stones. Stones as big as thrones. What do we got?
Thrones.
We got tons of thrones. We got thrones to put in your hallway, to put in your stallway, to put in your doorway. What do we got?
Oh, doorways.
No, thrones.
Thrones.
Thrones. We've got all sorts of crazy stuff to bling your experience. You want it in gold? We've got it in gold. We've got gold-plated strawberries, gold-plated bikes, gold-plated cars, gold-plated helicopter, gold-plated jet plane. We've got gold-plated gold. We gold-plate it, we melt it back down, we gold-plate it again. Gold, gold, gold. Mrs. Neil, what can we give them?
Gold.
Yeah, she loves gold, she likes the feel of gold, she likes the taste of gold. So come on down and feel the gold. You might be taking a moment in the bedroom and having some intimate family time. We've got gold sheets. What else we got?
Oh, we got a chaise long.
She likes it long. I give it to her long. Yeah! Mrs. Neil, come and take this away and spend it.
I can manage that.
25 years in the biz and it hasn't been better. Come on down, because the missus needs new knockers. Gold!
Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, Megan Wolfe. Very shortly, we'll be heading on over to the final episode of what has quickly become a hugely successful feature, the notice board. But before we do, let's chat with Philippa Radon. Tell me, why do you think the public love the notice board so much?
It's real. There, I said it. It connects with people. You know, people look at us and they say, those are real people struggling with real problems.
That's a really interesting point.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying to my PA secretary as I got out the limo, I was saying, it's good for people to see normal, authentic people like them on TV.
People like you.
Yeah, precisely.
Right.
Unfortunately, then I was a dreadful wretch who wanted an autograph, but a swift kicking from security soon put him back in line.
Yes, well, I think it's really good that our screens are filled with such relatable stories. So, the notice board is coming to an end after a sensational time at the top. What do you think has made this show so successful?
Oh, it's a combination of so many things. My hard work, my talent, my look.
Wow, we really have a lot to thank you for.
Hey. You're welcome.
Well, since the show's done so well, what's changed for you?
I have a real sense of responsibility now. You know, a sense I've been entrusted with something precious and that I should use that platform for good.
Yeah, I think that's really important, that we should use this platform to do good in the world. I agree.
That's exactly it. So I've decided to help as many underprivileged children as I can.
Wow, Philippa, that's really amazing. So, how are you doing that? Is that better access to education, or reducing child poverty?
No, by adopting as many as I can get my hands on.
Oh, okay. How many children have you adopted?
Oh, we're well into the double figures now, Megan. I stopped counting in the late 30s.
Goodness, that is a lot of children.
Yeah, once we finish putting them into the guest room, I'll have to put a futon in the laundry cupboard.
Oh, you really are some sort of hero.
Hey, I live a privileged life. What can I say? I mean, any child I can take on is a child rescued from suffering.
Poor children. Were their lives really that bad before?
Oh, they're Northerns, I presume so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's shocking to think, actually, that only 1 in 10,000 children have a celebrity parent.
I'd never thought of it that way before.
And I'm doing everything I can to fix those numbers.
What do you think it is about your life that's so desirable, then?
Well, it's mainly shame and panic interspersed with expensive bottled water, so actually, if anyone wants to, I'd happily trade.
Now that I can relate to. Right, you better go off and get ready. That was Philippa Radin sharing some thoughts about her lifestyle. I think it's really important to stay grounded and keep everything in perspective. Clearly, not everyone else agrees, but that's enough for me. Let's go now over to Dangly Parts for the final ever episode of the Notice Board.
What a day! First the tea morning, and now to post this notice. I don't know how I managed to cope with it all. Oh wait, perhaps I do. Oh! By St. Barnabas, what on earth is all this?
Freeze, dirtbag!
Oh, Laura, it's you. I thought for a moment you were a knife-wielding mugger or stabber.
No, I'm afraid not. It's just me, a community cohesion officer, responsible for keeping crime at record lows.
Of course, keep forgetting that thanks to you and your colleagues, violence on our streets is a thing of the past.
What's all this, Vicar?
I know, it's a disgrace. Somebody has defaced our notice board with this assorted construction waste.
We should be good team members and clear it.
I
agree. Careful, Vicar. It looks heavy.
Ha! They don't call me the Right Reverend. Ripped for no reason. It's no good.
It looks like all those crucifit classes were a waste of time.
Perhaps you, a young CCO, would be able to move it. Looks like all those lifting classes were a waste of time.
It's too heavy, even for me, a strong and capable woman. Surely there's no one alive strong enough to lift this.
Did someone call for the best firefighter in town? Hi!
Well done, Captain Evans. You're so much stronger than us.
Especially me, the weak old man.
It's the least I could do for my community.
No luck catching the little devil then?
Unfortunately not. The ferret struck again last night. When Ray opened the post office this morning, he found that every single stamp had been pre-licked.
My God! Some people have no decency.
Sadly, if we don't catch him before tomorrow, we may have to cancel the village fete.
Don't worry, we won't let that happen. Will we, Vicar?
No, no, no. Laura, tell me, why do they call him the ferret?
Some say it's because of his sneaky nature. But really it's because whenever he strikes, he always leaves behind the foul stench of urine.
Never fear, officer. We'll catch this nuisance and save the village fete. Or my name's not Captain Danger Evans. The community cohesion team are doing their best, but they simply don't have the smarts to solve this mystery. But I know someone who does. Someone who's about to blow this thing wide open. Me! Blackout!
It's the morning of the village fete, thanks to theatrical convention.
I sure hope everything goes to plan. Oh, look! There's Mrs. Craven setting up her cake stall.
And look, there's the motorcycle display team setting up for a show that would be far too expensive for live television.
I'm going to set up the coconut shy. What are you doing, Vicar?
First, I'm running the tombola. Then I'll be selling forgiveness for money.
Aren't you judging the jams?
I couldn't possibly.
Well, that sounded like Mrs. Craven. Looks like someone sucked all the jam out of her donuts.
That damn ferret has struck again.
Whatever are we to do?
Although I'm very competent, I have no idea how to solve this case.
I guess we'll just have to cancel the fete.
Hold it right there, ferret.
Me? Have you been drinking from the fire extinguishers again?
Not you, the vicar.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Admit it. You wanted the village fete cancelled so you could have the day off, didn't you?
I already have to work Sundays. I shouldn't have to work 2 days a week.
But how did you know?
Well, my first clue was the smell.
Yes, I do smell of urine.
Next, I noticed that the vicar's tongue was particularly dry, almost as if he'd been licking thousands and thousands of stamps.
Or perhaps eating Mrs. Craven's baking.
Which brings me on to my third clue. The vicar said that he had no more room for jam.
Almost as if he'd had his fill.
Precisely.
But you managed to figure it all out from that?
Well, I also found this at the scene.
That proves nothing.
No! Get him out of here, officer!
You did it, Captain. You could say you ferreted him out.
Hey, come on. Let's go and have a party in my massive garden. Well,
Thanks to you, we're all doing well. Well, that was it. The final ever episode of the Notice Board. And what a way to end it. Thank you as always to Jeff, Philippa and Tommy. After the break, we'll be both dancing and learning. So don't change that channel. We'll be right back.
My name is Katie Brightman. I'm an economist and commentator. You've probably seen me on the news talking about Advance and how progressive their policies are. Well, I was wrong. And I'm here tonight to say I'm sorry and to beg for your forgiveness. My parents are not rich. My mother was a nurse and my father worked in a factory. I was the first member of my family to go to university. But I always envied my friends who had so much more. Over the years, my jealousy grew. So when Advance came to power, I didn't think about the damage they would do. I acted selfishly. I was glad to see the rich punished. I didn't see how backwards Advance were. I didn't understand that rather than tearing down the wealth creators, we should have been helping everyone else to take a seat at their table. Under Advance, the country is poorer. It is poorer in ambition. It is poorer in aspiration. We are infantilized by Advance's naive policies. Policies born from absurd, redistributive fantasies. I have whored myself out to the media to defend the indefensible. I have betrayed my parents. I see that now. Mum, Dad, I'm sorry. Our only hope, the only hope, now lies with Disrupt.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later in this segment, we're hoping to be able to go back to Patrick Bannon at the scene of tonight's shocking Disrupt attack. But first, I'm delighted to be joined by the cast of the smash hit musical everyone is talking about. I'll be speaking with the cast in a moment, but first, let's take a look at them in action. Please give a warm National Nightly welcome to the Novaries.
The Novaries.
Hello? Doctor? Yes, I see. Thank you for letting me know. I have a decent life. I'm a happy, loving wife. And my job is well paid and fulfilling. I have a husband, John. He's due home soon, won't be long. And I have to tell him something that is absolutely chilling. We share coffee in the morning, and we make love every day. We take time alone together to talk and laugh and play. We prioritize our needs. We do charitable deeds. But the flowers of our happy life are now beset by weeds.
I'm home.
Oh, darling John.
Oh, dearest John.
There's something very wrong. I've just had a conversation with our doctor, David Wong, so please be seated. This news will make you feel defeated. The scans revealed a lump.
You poor unlucky chump.
Is it cancer?
Worse, oh, John. We're having a baby.
How can this be?
Oh, woe is me.
Why has this happened to me? I always wear 2 condoms for the maximum of
Safety in our tiny flat. We built a peaceful habitat. Now our lives we're having a baby. Now you can't have any wine at book club.
And there won't be any time for foot rubs.
Now your hair will stink of weed.
And you'll start to disagree.
And forget about that holiday in Territory 3. No more waking up at 10:30. In fact, you're never going to get a good night's sleep again. No more snap decisions to go on to a club. You'll be lucky if you even make it out to the pub. Why can't we be more like our gay and lesbian chums?
The only glue they have to deal with comes from personal bums.
Now when I take a sick day at home,
The parasite won't leave you alone.
how he's grown!
We're our top priority.
I look after you, and you look after me. Ain't no trouble and strife. We got a childless life. No one wails and no one bawls. No one draws things on the walls.
A happy husband.
A wonderful wife. We got a childless life.
We're having a baby.
We're having a baby. Changing nappies daily. We're having a
Baby.
no more weekends by the coast. Now your kid is uppermost. It's more than a passing craze to have childless days.
Amazing. The Novaries there, treating us to their opening number from Elegy for a Childless Life, which is currently the hottest ticket in the capital theatre district, and will be touring the territories later this year. Right then, come on you lot, come on down, let's go, don't be shy. Hello.
Hi, Megan.
Hi.
It's an honour to be here.
Oh, really? Are you fans of the show?
Yes.
Used to be. Well, listen, let's get stuck in. Your amazing musical. Now, I mean, not only do you perform this show every single night,
with matinees on Wednesday and Saturday.
Right, but you're also the show's creators, am I right?
Well, everyone contributed their ideas, and then some of us went away and did the actual work on the script. But no, it's very much a team effort.
Oh, that's fantastic. How rude of me. I've not introduced any of you. I'll be the one being replaced next. Let's go down the line, shall we?
Hi, I'm Jack.
Jim Blunt. Pleasure to be here.
Jennifer Boreham-Woodley.
Hello, I'm John Sapley. Used to be in the business professionally.
My name's Jill, with a J.
And I'm Janet. I'm the youngest.
That's incredible. And you were all friends previously. I mean, what a coincidence, right? Your name's beginning with a J.
Oh my goodness, guys! Our names all begin with J.
How have we never noticed that?
Because you haven't typed them out 1,000 times, maybe?
You knew? Why didn't you say anything?
I thought we all knew. It's bloody obvious, isn't it? I just thought we were doing a funny thing where we never mentioned it.
And I believe, as well as being friends, you're also couples, you know, in real life as well as in the show.
Well, oh, well, not exactly.
No. I'm not married to him. I'm with Janet.
And I'm with John, you lucky bean.
Jim and I are married.
4 fabulous years.
Well, that must make for some confusion in the rehearsal room.
Well, you should have seen the first draft. Jen decided that Jack would play Jim, I would play Jack, Jen Janet, Jill Jen, Janet Jill.
What about John?
Well, my character was originally just called Man 1.
It was allegorical.
It was very confusing.
Not for a professional.
After much toing and froing.
And gnashing and wailing.
And gin and tonic.
We decided that we'd just use our own names, which is less truthful.
We're also less likely to go into the wrong dressing rooms.
Oh, God, yeah, that would be very embarrassing, wouldn't it?
Of course, when I first wrote it, we were only meant to run for a few nights at the Mimbley Village Hall, but when I registered it with the Department for Culture, it caught the eye of someone high up, and before you could say overnight sensation, we were transferring to the capital.
It's all been a bit of a roller coaster, really. Yeah. I'm only 19. I'm the youngest.
You really don't have to repeat that.
I had to give up my job as a mortuary technician.
Well, yes, we all had to move to the capital.
I love that job.
It's been a very turbulent time.
So peaceful, no singing.
This piece isn't political, is it?
No, absolutely not. It's about children and why you shouldn't have them.
In a way, I guess it is political, with a small p. After all, we are a solid unit, and eagle-eyed audience members will see we nod our heads to advance on stage throughout, and we target the messaging at women aged 22, well, about 35, as they're the most likely to be afflicted by this terrible problem. Terrible problem.
Having children.
Well, you understand, Megan.
You clearly agree.
Wow, this isn't about me. Of course, we see that there are advantages to a family unit, but eagle-eyed couples watch as the little parasites advance on their lives. And there's no time to play the guitar, get through a book, or watch a movie. They're exhausted, passed out on the couch by 20 to 9, for God's sake.
You're very chatty tonight, dear.
Usually I'm the chatty one, because...
You're the youngest, we know. It's not a badge of honour, Janet.
Janet, please, Jennifer. Oh, well said, John. Thanks, Janet. Got you back.
So, could you just tell us what is the play about? What happens in it?
Well,
go ahead.
It's a tragedy, obviously. Jennifer, myself, and John have their child, and then the story charts the downfall of their hopes and dreams.
And there's lots of singing.
And dancing.
A lot.
My character works at a menu centre for a distribution unit. Eagle-eyed, she sees her friend's rapid advance to a pit of despair. Becoming a target for children's TV advertising at the age of 22, she decides to take drastic action. I can't really say more, though. I probably said too much already.
Let's not spoil the second act for anyone who might come to see it.
Which should be all of you. For too long, we've been told that a life without children is somehow incomplete, that children are a blessing. Well, I've done the research, and they're not. Besides, there's already loads of bastards running around all over the place, so...
We just want people to have the option of a happy, child-free life without stigma. You know, when I was 14, before I had come out, I had an experience with a girl called Julia Jacobs. She was an experiment, I guess, you know, a chance to dip my toes into the...
Fascinating. Well, thank you all so much for coming in tonight. I really hope you keep them dancing in the aisles for many performances to come. The Nova is there. And I am pleased to say we can now go back to Patrick Bannon to get the latest from the scene of tonight's horrific events. Patrick, are you okay?
Thank you, Megan. This is Patrick Bannon reporting from the scene of tonight's devastating and symbolic attack tonight this evening. An attack which I myself have found myself caught up in. I'm still a little dazed and a little deaf, Megan, so I hope you'll forgive me if I seem that it's time to speak with the Prime Minister. Mrs. Salisbury, that's you. You're still here. The Prime Minister.
I couldn't leave, not when there were people that needed help. Any team player would have done the same. I don't deserve praise for being human.
Yes, no accolades here. Or Palisades. Or lemonade. Right. So, is the situation now, are we safe?
Yes. The security services performed their duties without hesitation. And I would like to assure the public that although there have been some injuries, there were no civilian deaths here this evening.
Oh, that's good news about the Sorry, did you say no deaths?
That's right. No civilian deaths. Just the 4 disrupt terrorists curtailed by law enforcement, who were, as always, so cohesive. If I may, I have a message for your viewers.
Oh, of course, the camera, there's the speak there, on the camera there.
Stay at home tonight. Do not become another casualty of war. Disrupt have had their moment, but, as the dear departed Peter Clements once famously said, it ends today.
Thank you, Prime Minister, for those strong words of strength. Back to the studio. Megan, now in the studio with Megan Wolfe now.
Patrick Bannon there, bravely reporting from the front line of tonight's horrifying bombing. Maybe you need to get checked out, Patrick. Well, that brings us to the end of tonight's National Nightly News. But before we go, one final thought. Throughout the programme tonight, we've been receiving reports of disrupt activities throughout the territories. Through a series of coordinated attacks, these terrorists are attempting to undermine Advance's vital work. However, sources at team headquarters have told us that this flaccid revolution was not only predicted, but allowed to happen. Our government have lured disrupt out from the shadows, and they are not the overwhelming force they would have you believe. The military have been actioned, and, well, it's pretty scary out there tonight, so stay at home and stay with Channel 1, because the team has assured this programme that the turbulence will soon be over and we can once again focus our minds on building the new future with equality, fairness and resources for all. My name is Megan Wolfe. Let's make tomorrow better.
I'm Brad.
And I'm Janet, and we are the last remaining members of the team here.
And we're contractually bound to tell you about the Remington's Fist Territory 1 flash sale.
That's right, Brad. For just 24 hours, all the products in our Last Satisfaction Center are on sale.
Wow, look at all this stuff. Such low prices. Like this. Box of packing peanuts.
Or this bottle of Brad's urine.
Or our deceased colleague's gold teeth.
I can't believe it's all on sale.
Yes, indeed. This place is closing down and everything's gotta go.
No, it's not closing down.
Relocating.
That's right, Brad. Remington's Fifth will be back to a territory near you very soon.
Bigger, stronger, and more powerful than ever.
That sounds like demolition. Ah!
Bulldozers.
The Remington's Fifth Territory 1 flash sale is now on. Get involved while you still can.
Huh. Hello?
Ruin and emotional collapse after the birth of their unexpectedly large family. At 9:15, it's What Music is Best, a rundown of the top-selling songs across the territories. Expect catchy tunes and scenes of an inappropriately sexual nature, not one to miss. At 10 p.m, it's time for Julia's Diary, where the ever-popular Prime Minister reads extracts from her diary in front of a warm fire. Then at 10:30, it's the latest episode of our drama series, Betterment, which tells the inspirational story of Emily Dennisworth and the brave doctors and technicians struggling to help her shed her old habits and adjust to the new future. Strong language and themes of selfishness there, so not one for the kids. Incisors is at 11:15, and Dr. Adrian Atkinson-Blimey will be looking back on Liberation Day by talking to several eyewitnesses and asking, how did it all go so right? That's followed by the Territory Weather Report, Advanced Briefing, and pages from Terrytext, now featuring up to 16 simultaneous colours. What a time to be alive. But first, time to put on your thinking glasses as we go over to Megan and the team at the NNN.
Good evening and welcome to the NNN. I'm Megan Wolfe. And who's this, you might be wondering? Well, it's Bring Your Daughter to Work Day here at Channel 1. So I'm joined tonight by my foster daughter, Stacey. Say hello, Stacey.
Go fuck yourself.
All right then, here are the stories that matter to you. First up, with Advance confirming that the nuclear fallout from the 20-week war is to blame for the drop in birth rates across the territories, we asked you what keeps you going. I know that I, for one, was quite deflated when I heard about this, but reading all your submissions has really put the smile back on my face. This is from Sonia in Larkfordshire. I've had plenty of time to fill, so I've started a new hobby. Since I started knitting, I barely remember that 85% of the country is sterile. My record is this scarf. It's 124 metres long. Thank you for that. And if you've started a new hobby, do write in and tell us about it. Next up, you know how we love your uncanny, comestible coincidences, and I don't know about you, but I think this one really takes the biscuit. I'm not sure what I'm more impressed by, Stacey. The things our viewers spot, or the unbelievable way our menu centres are now able to feed every team member every single day. Greg from Poddington has sent us this lovely photo of their breakfast, saying, I couldn't bring myself to eat my toast this morning because I could swear it bore the spitting image of the great Julia Salisbury's relatable face. So I had to make do with a plate of butter and 2 spoonfuls of jam. Do keep those coming in. You never go. We've just got time for one more of your stories, and this one is an inspiring story of rehabilitation. That's it, just tell us who it's from, yeah, and then read it out. Okay.
Apparently, this is from Sherry in Tendon. Here I am, just 6 months out of Betterment. I'm healthy, sober and working thanks to the facilities I had access to on the inside. I'll never have to go back to my old life of stealing cars and burning down charity shops. I just wanted to share.
We absolutely love hearing the way our neighbours and team members have been able to become better people. So do let us know your stories here. You can do this bit, Stacey.
No, you're all right, thanks.
Come on, give it a try.
Let us know your stories here at the NNN.
Tonight on the NNN, it's time to celebrate this week's team lottery winners live from the Shakespeare Theatre right here in the capital. We're going to hand over to Julia Salisbury. I suppose you don't think much of her either, eh, Stacey?
She's got a lot more going for her than you wankers.
OK. Surprising vote of approval there from Stacey. Let's go live to that right now.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's Team Awards. Of all the many duties I have as team leader, this is by far the most pleasant. As I so often say to you, the uneven past is now, following the demise of Disrupt, firmly behind us. This is the new future, and I say to you, it's better now. I am delighted to be joined here tonight by one of the oldest people in Territory 1. He was born over 107 years ago. Please give a warm team welcome to Alfie Touchbadger. So, Alfie, you must have seen so much in your lifetime. What have been some of the highlights? Alfie? Is he all right?
His hearing aid isn't turned on.
Oh, could you turn it on?
He says it drains the battery.
Well, will you tell him that we'll buy him a brand new battery after the presentation?
Yeah, he says that's fine then. And I will help him with that, yeah.
If you would. Sorry, can't get the staff.
Yeah. We got it.
So, Alfie.
What?
You're 107 years old.
Oh, don't bloody remind me.
Would you like to tell the audience what that's like?
Well, where is everybody?
Out there, in the dark. Oh, bless him, it's not just the ears.
Who are you? 2 sugars, please.
I'm Julia Salisbury, the Prime Minister.
A likely story. Who are you really?
No, I really am the Prime Minister.
Oh, you're a
woman?
Yeah, a woman. One of
Women
them.
can do anything men can do these days, Alfie.
Can you piss standing up?
I can't say I've ever tried.
No, I didn't think so. 2 sugars, please, and not too much milk.
Shall we get to the awards, Alfie?
Oh, aren't you going to ask me about my life?
Well, I'm not sure we have enough time left now for that, so...
When I was 9, I wanted a pet, so I asked me mum and pap. There was no television then, back then, you know. We made our own entertainment out of coal and roadkill.
Well, that's fascinating.
So they got me a pet, see? But it weren't a dog. They told me it were a dog, but it were a stone.
A stone?
Yes. So I called it Patch, which were a popular name for a dog back then on account of the king having a patchy face. And I decided to introduce him to pretty little Gertie Thimble, who lived up the road.
Oh, how romantic.
She threw my dog in the river. That was the day I decided I'd never marry.
And that's the secret to your long life?
Oh no, I've been married 7 times, divorced 8. There was a mix-up with number 3, see? Yes, I'm just lucky. Are we going back to the home soon?
Soon, Alfie. First, let's turn to the reason we're all here, the weekly Territory 1 Team Awards. First up tonight is a lady who really knows how to put in the extra hours. She works at a transition centre in Hamble-Bamblebury, and she has single-handedly allowed more families to unburden each other than any other nurse in Territory 1. In the uneven past, she'd have been locked up. Tonight, she is being honoured as a team player.
Please welcome Daphne Snister.
Are you here to change me?
Just give her a medal, Alfie. There's a good boy.
Right, gotcha. I mean, 2 sugars, please. And don't let it steep too long.
I think you're supposed to give me one of those.
Oh. Well,
there he goes. Look.
I can't get the arms up any higher than that. You'll have to go down now.
Thank God those fractious times are behind us, and now the territories are thriving.
Are we in? As the actors said to the bishop.
Yes, thank you. I've got it from here.
Well done. Daphne Snister, everybody. Now, open your envelope and find out what you've won. Crikey, don't hold back there. Choose tougher than one of Peter's homemade Eccles cakes.
Got it. I've won a holiday for 2 in Territory 15. It used to be called San Palmerino, didn't it?
I believe it did, yes.
Why couldn't we have stuck with that then? It's easier to remember.
We're all one nation now.
Hang on a minute. Isn't it still on fire?
Daphne Snister, everyone.
Oh, what about my change? I've been in these wide fronts for 3 days now.
We'll get to that, Alfie.
Oh, right you are, love.
Next up tonight is a couple from Farnley who, after a rocky start losing their family's ill-gotten gains to the Assets and Wealth Act, have really embraced the new future, setting up a community farm and petting zoo in their local area for all the local children to play. Please welcome Otho and Lobelia Jackson Randy-Gannett. Medals, Alfie.
Do you know, when I was in the trenches, I had a pal called Scotty Wilson. He was from way up north, so I didn't understand a bloody word he said. But he were my best mate.
Should we just grab them for ourselves?
Probably for the best.
And his best mate was Smudger A's. There was them two. Fiddly Eric, Unstable Terry, and of course, Leggy Sydney. She were a girl. But she had a boy's name, so they shipped her to the front anyway. First girl any of us had ever seen close up. She's dead now. They all are. Smudger and Scotty never made it home. Fiddly got shanked in Frankworth prison in argument over an olive. And Terry, he exploded quietly at home. Sydney got a fatal skin condition. Scratched herself to death. It makes you think.
Thanks, Alfie. Great contribution. So, Otho and Lobelia, a petting zoo.
After we lost all our wealth, we discovered there were actually people who had never even owned a pony.
I used to have 3.
So we decided to do something about it. That's the type of people we are, you see. Advantage of a private education, probably.
Well, I'm sure we could debate that all night, but there's no time. So, let's see what you've won.
Yes, but before we do, there's something I wanted to say to you.
Oh, absolutely. Every citizen of the new future has my ear.
Good. When Advance came to power, you took all of our wealth. You took the shirts off of our backs.
Quite literally, in my case, I used to collect shirts.
You might as well have the rest of it, too.
Oh, security!
Cool, blimey.
We want our money back. One, my love. One wild, one free.
Alfie Tadgebatter. And you are? Oh, no.
Got to go. It isn't right and it isn't fair.
You tell him, girl. That's my wife, you know. Oh, no, you don't.
You can't make pearls with swine, it isn't right. We used to have 3 horses, Fenton, DeFessel and Hungwell. And now what have we got? 2 mangy goats, 1 mongrel dog called Kenneth, and a rooster that won't bloody shut up!
Can we get this over quickly with, please?
As the actress said to the bishop. Oh, here we go again. Hello, Alfie Tadgebatter. Pleased to meet you.
Look at it, Jackson.
Cool.
Stop them!
Oh, don't worry, love. I'll protect you.
You better break their ruddy nose.
You know, this reminds me of when I was in my 20s and we go to the promenade at Shining on Sea and watch all the pretty girls on the beach. Everything was black and white then, of course. We'd visit the Penny Arcade and try to win a block of lard to take home for the family. You couldn't buy lard in those days. You had to win it. Oh, it was so much simpler back then. Boys were boys, girls were girls. Everyone else was recruited by the circuses. There were loads of them, you see, circuses, with their big tents and their candy floss. You'd hear the music, the pipe organ, drifting over the nearby fields. My mum used to call it the most magical sound in the world. This was before she lost her hearing after giving a particularly loud round of applause. Yeah, did you ever go to the circus?
What's that, Alfie?
The circus, oh, never mind. Yeah, just the tea, pet.
Well, that was an unexpected dose of naked nostalgia. Some people simply can't let go of the past. That's why I look in joy and fervent admiration at the younger generation. So cohesive, such a team. And with fertility falling throughout the territories, we should value our fabulous new generation now more than ever. Our final winner tonight is a go-getter who really went and got 'em, helping to root out more than 170 disrupt collaborators in his own neighbourhood. Since then, he's gone on to be a senior cohesion cadet leader and organised all of the entertainment at last year's Camp Cooperation. Our final winner tonight, Edwin Neverley.
Oh, Alfie Treasure.
You should be in a transition centre, you old nonk. Prime Minister. It's an absolute pleasure to finally meet you. We're very similar, in my opinion.
Well, I've never been much of a role model.
Nonsense, Prime Minister. You have saved this country. You have fought enemies, foreign and domestic, with 9 fists. As with my own tiny fists have I.
Well, let's open the envelope and find out what you've won. Maybe it'll be a fist enlargement.
A year's internship as a behaviour coach at Betterment. It's just what I've always wanted. Let's show the fools where they went wrong, eh?
Well, actually, Betterment is about rehabilitation, Edwin.
Absolutely. And if they won't reintegrate, we retaliate. Just like you did on Liberation Night. Thank you for this award, and stay vigilant. Report the non-cohesives. Be a team player.
That concludes tonight's awards. Join me next week when, hopefully, things will be a lot more normal. Back to you, Megan.
Prime Minister Salisbury there at a highly eventful team awards ceremony. Any thoughts on this week's winners, Stacey?
The nurse was fucking scary, the pretees were saggy, and that little prick will never lose his virginity.
Okay, well, succinctly put there. The break, we'll be going live to a star-studded premiere. You won't believe who's on the red carpet tonight. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back after this.
The dreary days are over. The uneven past is far behind us. The territories are expanding, with countries queuing to add their voices to the warm symphony of the new future. It's an exciting time, but there's one thing missing, and that's where you come in. Advance are calling on talented, creative people from across the territories to submit their most stirring creations as entries in the United Territories Anthem Slam. We're looking for a new song for the new future, something that speaks from and to your hearts. An original composition of cooperation and cohesiveness, a song of solidarity for a steadfast society. No previous songwriting experience is required. All you need to do is record or notate your anthem and, if possible, arrange it for a modern 39-piece chamber orchestra or 44-voice choir. The entries will be judged by acclaimed composer Jonathan Williamson, responsible for the soundtracks to Bullet Man, The Automated, and, of course, Space Opera, Parts 1, 2, and 5. So why not put on your composing trousers, sharpen your music stick, and have a go? You can grab the friendly 31-page entry form at your nearest team offices. Advance, because a mighty movement requires a mighty melody.
Welcome back. Stacey's still here.
Wishing she wasn't.
Thanks, Stacey. And in this segment, we're delighted to have sent Robin and Patrick to the movies. Yes, tonight is the world premiere of The Automated, starring Lawrence Blunderclatch and the late, great Helena Canterbury Boatshoe. And all the stars are out tonight. We first covered this film almost 5 years ago, back when it was called The Medicated. Then, for mysterious reasons, the film was suddenly pulled the night before its release. Well, since then, executive producer George Focus has spent 5 long years polishing the film and turning it into a special edition and premiering tonight. With extensive state-of-the-art visual effects and a top-quality voice team, George says it's the movie he always wanted to make. Now, let's take a look at it.
I can't deconstruct it.
Captain?
I can't deconstruct it. Robots!
Is this a wig?
You think I don't grow that?
No, Dick, I'll kill you. Think of Saturn.
There's something on your face, Chief Harrison! I wish you were real, baby. Flesh and blood.
Captain Quasar.
But you're just ones and zeros, baby. If only I'd noticed.
Captain Quasar.
You rusted, but I didn't notice.
Captain.
I'm buffering, Dick, you said.
Got one on you.
God damn it, blast it off!
Here's a map.
What's a map? Okay, so head north on Interstellar Avenue, left at the asteroid belt, and a tricky 3-point turn at Uranus. What are these symbols? This corner. This is the key.
We could shut it down.
Yes, we could shut it down! But we have to ask ourselves, who are we?
Gosh, thrilling stuff. What did you think, Stacey?
The robots were all right, I guess.
They certainly were. Let's go over to Robin Short now in Western Square, who I believe has got the star of the show. Robin.
You, shall we?
Yes, we are live from Western Square with a man who needs no introduction, Lawrence Blunderclatch. How has your evening been so far?
Magical. Absolutely magical. My most dear friends all gathered here to celebrate my work. One really couldn't ask for much more, could one?
Well, on that note, with award season just around the corner, are you hoping to add to your collection for a 3rd time?
Well, I really couldn't say. But if the association deigned to honour me for a 4th time, well, so be it. It's really not for me to say. But let's just say that I know of 3 little gold men who are getting rather lonely.
Absolutely.
Because I've won 3 little awards.
And each more deserved than the last. Well, it's safe to say that your career has gone supersonic in the last couple of years. How's that been?
Well, as I was saying to Stephen only yesterday, that's Stephen Spellman. The Stephen Spellman. Lovely chap. I mean, unbelievable mind. I said, Stephen, you know, this really has been quite the ride. Did you know what he said? He agreed with me.
Wow.
And what do you attribute your success to?
Well, if we're talking actual numbers, I'd have to say 60% talent, 30% looks, and 10% passion, brackets general. Not to mention the incredible coverage on election night. That really was the start of it all. That and my own range of sick bags. Lawrence's chunder catch.
Wow, who could forget? Well, it's been a delight talking to you, as always. Thank you so much. Well, Patrick Bannon should be with Lil C for a conversation that doesn't involve vomit. Patrick?
You, Robin. Fingers crossed. I'm joined here by pop icon. It's Lil C. And her father, country singer and alien worshipper, Billy Bob Jean Short.
Howdy.
So, Lil C, what's with the bag?
She knows what she's done.
Well, we love this look. Is it one of yours?
No, you know it's not. We don't do that anymore.
Yes, of course. Your clothing label went bankrupt, didn't it?
Yes, because a certain TV show failed to fulfill their contractual obligations.
Well, you look great.
Oh, well, that's probably due to her new cosmetics and wellness brand.
Well, I'm not sure that it is.
Let her show you. This is our new eyeshadow palette. She calls this one Glands.
Wow, it's scented. Wow, that was a surprise.
And this next one, this is our new lipstick. We call this shade Lips.
Oh, wow. Why is it so salty?
It's organic. And this, our next one, this body spray, this is a body mist which rebalances your hormones and actually smells like fertility.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, wow.
You feel that?
Yeah, that burns. Oh.
All this is part of Lil C's new range, straight from my veins.
Oh, good lord.
Breeze Craglar!
So, you're retiring from the music industry. That must be hard.
Well, she's way past her prime, Patrick. It was very hard for her to accept at first, but the industry's very, very sure about these things.
Well, you sure we can't convince you to release just one last album?
We do actually have another album ready, but that's for the label to release in case she dies over the next 10 years or so.
Oh, really?
Well, given the way she's going, you might get it by Christmas.
Well, we better let you get back.
Now remember, we need the money. So, she's also available for parties, weddings, funerals, and bar mitzvahs.
Well, thank you, Lil C. That's Lil C there. Oh, and it looks like Robin has got hold of Jesus. Is it obvious I'm sweating, Robin?
Absolutely is, Patrick. Jesus, I almost can't believe you're here. How have you been?
You know, I like to walk amongst the peoples every now and then. It makes them feel close to me.
Right, yes.
And to be close is to be human. And to be human is to be apart. Oh, that was good, write that down. Hey, Rachel, write that one down.
It's good to see you've done so well for yourself.
Thank you, my child. You know, I have you to thank for that. If it was never for your show supporting me and my music, I never would have transcended.
Now, there are rumours going around that you might be running for office. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, that's absolutely true, yeah.
But you're aware that elections have been suspended in the territories?
No, I'm not running to be no Prime Minister.
Oh, you're not?
No. I'm going to be King of the Moon.
King of the Moon?
Yes.
No, sorry. You're running for King of the Moon?
No, not running. It's my birthright.
And does this have anything to do with promoting your upcoming hip opera, Jason Space?
Hush now. Cynicism is so unmoon.
Okay. And how long will this last? Will it go the way of last year's Living as a Mouse fiasco? Or maybe your foray into ventriloquist beats?
I don't make the moon rules. I merely live by them.
So, are you looking forward to seeing The Automated?
You know, I don't believe in film. Thou shalt keep thine image still and holy. That's track 4, Jesus Christ made us though.
Okay, thank you for your time and good luck with your new life in space.
And with you, my child.
Well, Megan, that's what success looks like. I'm going to see if we can grab someone else to have a chat. Back to you.
Thanks, Robin. But I think Stacey and I are probably in quite enough trouble where we are. So, 3 big names there, Stacey.
Yeah, big names.
Any thoughts about them? Maybe from your generation's perspective?
You won't like my opinions.
Oh, go on, try me.
Well, Bumbanonk is so old he's like 1 week away from a transition centre, so who cares? And Lil C was cool when I was like 12 or something, but now she's just another fucking loony. And Jesus is a disrupt-loving wanker who should have died with the rest of them 3 years ago.
You're right.
You agree with me?
No, you're right. I don't like your opinions. But thankfully, we can go back to Patrick now, who has another familiar face to catch up with. Oh, Patrick, what's the atmosphere like there?
It's absolutely electric, Megan. I can't quite believe it either, but he's here. It's Crazy Neil.
Hey, hi, ho, how you doing?
Neil, our audiences just love you. They've really, really connected with your ads over the years. What's it like suddenly being so popular?
It's crazy. People stop me in the streets, they expose themselves, they write me threatening letters. You know, the stalker has become the stalkee. A real taste of Neil's own medicine, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Hey.
and what's been the most challenging thing about being so famous?
It's places like this, you know, being around actors and rock stars. They're real crazy, and Crazy Neil knows crazy, and I'm used to being the loudest whack job in the room. Hey.
Yes, I can imagine.
But I know what you're thinking. Hey, Neil, where's the crazy deal? We got crazy deals on chairs. You ever sit in a chair that knock your socks off?
No, I can't say that I have.
Makes a mess of the carpet. But what do you say? We got a deal?
Well,
what about Betty Andrews' handbag? It's real leather. It's real cheap. And it even contains our heart medicine. Spicy.
No, really.
You've got the chair.
Oh.
You've got the bag. You're really busting my balls. What can I do to convince you? Let me throw in my wife. Mrs. Neil. It's the latest model. Not a scratch on her. Pearls like a charm. What do you say? Have we got a deal?
Look, I can't take your wife.
Yes, you can. I got loads of them.
Oh.
Come on down to Crazy Deals. We got crazy deals on chairs. We got crazy deals on meals. We got crazy deals on wheels. We got wheels on meals, meals on wheels. We've even got endangered seals. And we got meals with endangered seals. Yeah!
Thank you, Neil. Well, it's always a dream come true to meet a hero. How about that, Megan? The man himself. Aren't we lucky? Back to you.
Thanks, Patrick. What a colourful interview there on what looks like an amazing night. They certainly know how to make an entrance, I hope. And The Automated really does seem to have unstoppable written all over it, because despite Boris Horsey in Hours magazine calling it Lawrence Blunderclatch's overly long suicide note, in a review which ends with the words, and he hasn't even had the decency to see it through, the film, which is free to all residents of the territories, has seen record pre-bookings and looks set to run for months and months. But let's go back to those lucky few seeing it tonight. Oh, I'm so jealous. Robin, you seen anything unusual there?
Thanks, Megan. Well, will you settle for the territory's most eligible bachelor? 5 years ago, Steve Saxon was an unknown. Then a series of incredible performances in acclaimed productions, from Hamlet's Jam to The Curious Rise of Algernon Ding Dong, made him the most wanted man in drama. He's been voted sexiest man under 25 for 3 successive years. Now, let's see if he'll talk to the NNN. Excuse me, Mr. Saxon. Steve, have you got a moment to spare to talk to the NNN?
Oh, hi, the NNN. You know, your show gave me my first chance at an audience. The raw me, Steve 1.0.
I remember. Even then, everyone could see there was something so special about you. The whole thing is burned into my mind.
A moment is the very least I can give your amazing viewers in return.
Not that we're actually going anywhere. Where is she?
Are you going to introduce us to your date?
But of course, this
I'm
is...
Charlotte Winstanley Hamilton. I was in Hey Friendship too. You know, that scene you burned into your mind. I was in that.
No. Sorry. Don't remember you at all. Are you sure you were in that?
Yes, I was the pretty one. Tell her, Steve.
Looks are really important.
Well, if you say so, Steve. So it's been a big year for you. I believe you've been tackling the Bard.
Yeah, so I've been working with an enfant terrible called Quentin Sucker Punch. We've been doing all the Shakespeares.
Crikey, all of them?
Yeah, so we shoot one a week. I play all the parts, so I learn them at the weekend and then we shoot them naked in his steam room. The lighting in there is really good.
Sorry, did you say naked?
Yes, well, he is. I'm in a variety of hats. It's an old theatrical tradition.
I had a single out. It was called Look at Me.
And you did that advert, didn't you, babe?
Is that your dental floss?
And the sex tape, of course.
Steve! I don't like to talk about that. Although apparently it's available for $11.99 everywhere. Just ask your newsagent.
So, what is your favourite Shakespeare play then, Steve?
Ooh, I like the wordy one.
It's starting soon. I'm going to miss the trailers and we haven't even got any popcorn yet.
She'll be here.
Oh, I'm sorry I'm late, guys. What took you so long? There was an injured pigeon. I'll explain on the way in.
Now, of course, I remember you from that legendary first appearance.
Really? Her too?
You were such a serious little thing. You had that horrible sister.
Yes, that was me. I'm the horrible sister.
Don't be so hard on yourself, babe. Looks are really important.
Thanks, Steve.
So, what have you been up to, Harriet?
Actually, last year I was overseas bringing art to the starving children from outside the territories. They may not have food, but they can still have commedia.
Good for you.
And now I'm in an experimental physical theatre piece about the existential angst of Wicker.
Amazing. So artsy.
We do it above a pub on Thursdays. I was also the girl who got murdered in the bath in Night Slasher 3.
Haven't seen it.
But she was brilliant.
Thanks, Steve.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve. Char, I think it's starting soon and I really need a tinkle. Oh my God, you need the loo now? We're going to completely miss the trailers. You were so selfish. Sorry.
We've got to go.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much for talking with us and enjoy the movie.
Thanks. Love the NNN.
I love you guys. Stop showing off. Sorry.
Oh my God, Megan, I can't believe that. Steve Saxon, Harriet Winstanley-Hamilton, and someone else, can't remember her name for the life of me. I'm too starstruck, if I'm honest. I think I've just come. Back to you, Megan.
Thanks, Robin. Lucky you, and enjoy the movie. Star-studded event, eh, Stacey?
Who cares? No one goes to the cinema these days.
Of course. We'll be back after these messages.
Songs of the New Future. Stefano Arrivederci.
The children play in the snow all day. Peter Clement died on Leaders' Day. On Leaders' Day.
Lil D.
Mask. What are you hiding inside your heart? Ooh, mask. What are the secrets of your recent past? How well do you know your neighbor? How well do you know the people down the
Hippity Bob.
So much better. So much better. You gotta go to Better Meds. So much better. So much better.
Gloria Warbletongue.
I'll unburden you and you'll unburden me. We can take the pressure off our family. So look me in the eyes and say our last goodbyes. I'll unburden me. I'll unburden you and you'll unburden me. We can take
Songs of the New Future. In record shops across the territories. From Friday.
Welcome back. For our final segment tonight, Stacey and I are delighted to be joined by Heat Rash. Their new album, Girls and Why We Love Them All, comes out this weekend. So, let me see if I can get this right. It's Nolan.
I write the songs.
Ronnie.
That's what it says on my tattoo.
Oh, you've got a tattoo of your name on yourself. Okay.
In case he forgets it.
This raconteur, you must be Chinny. Why do they call you Chinny?
It's because of this ugly old thing.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, God, you're so fucking embarrassing.
Dale. Crikey, Dale, you do not look old enough to be in a band.
I get that a lot. I'm actually 23, the oldest one. I have a growth disorder.
God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that.
It's so cool, Preeti.
He's only messing with you.
He's actually 58.
Okay, right, I see. You're going to be a handful, aren't you, boys?
Mum.
And you must be TP. What does TP stand for?
Tiny prick.
It stands for team player.
I see. How long have you had that nickname?
Ever since Nolan decided Terry Prodance was a shit name for a member of a boy band.
No co, Ronnie.
Yeah, no co, Ronnie.
Sorry, what does no-co mean?
It's the opposite of SoCo.
Ah.
Fuck's sake. So-co.
Yeah.
So cohesive. You preties say cool.
Right, okay. Thank you, Stacey.
Sorry about her.
Not your fault. She's uneven.
So, you guys met through a popular show on one of our rival channels, didn't you?
Yeah, team players with a Z.
So, how did that work then?
Well, actually, Dale and I knew each other from school. We were actually classmates. And fuck's sake, Nolan, mate. Give someone else a chance. We all went on team players. We all auditioned. The judges put us into bands. And, yeah, we went to their houses and they just put us into bands.
Okay.
It's an example of how we're greater than the sum of our parts when we work in harmony.
And occasionally singing it.
So every week on the show, they get these bands and they give them a song that the producer just found from under the bin somewhere.
Actually, I write the songs.
And the public would phone in and decide which song they like best.
Right, and then the losers would be eliminated. Yeah?
Mum.
What?
No-co. Preeti, so no-co.
The band who get the most approval get to play their song again.
Sure. So what happens to the losers then?
Mum.
What do I keep doing wrong?
We don't use the L word anymore.
What, you mean losers?
Would you please stop saying that?
That word is a pejorative. It's a word designed to diminish. At Go-Getters, I learned very early that we only win when everybody wins.
But, sorry, that's not real life, is it? That's just sports board, no?
Thought you were SoCo.
Yeah, I am so-co.
Nah, you're a shrinker. Can't be friends with shrinkers.
She doesn't know what you're talking about. She doesn't understand.
So I do understand, actually, Stacey.
What's a shrinker?
Well, a shrinker.
What's
is...
a preety, Mum?
I think it means someone who's older, doesn't it?
Pre-territories.
It's someone who turned 18 before the new future. We call you preties.
Uneven.
Mimis. Nonks.
It's not her fault she's old. She can't help it.
I'm not that old.
I'm trying to help you here.
Well, I don't think I need your help.
See? Total Mimi.
Is that so?
Yes, obviously.
You know what the real problem with you lot is? You just can't get over the fact that your beloved Disrupt are gone and you just don't fit in anymore. But the truth is, Disrupt were violent, no-co pricks being led by a fucking psycho. I'm glad they lost, and you should be too.
Listen, not everyone over 30 supported Disrupt, Stacey.
Not everyone, no, but one fuck-off lot of you did.
SoCo, Stacey. SoCo.
We've all learned maybe a little bit more than we expected to there. I'm genuinely delighted to have met Heat Rash. And before we end the show tonight, I think you're going to sing for us, aren't you?
Yes, that's right. We're going to sing a song from Girls and Why We Love Them All called Pieces of My Heart, which is about a real relationship I had with an actual girl.
Oh,
Nolan, give it a rest, mate. No one cares. Go on, let's get on these stools, lads.
Right.
So, Stacey, can I get your contact?
Oh, she's 15.
Go on, piss off and sing your song, Terry. Christ.
Right you are.
So, here they are with their latest single, Pieces of My Heart. Are you excited, Stacey?
Not for me, no. I only listen to blip music and a bit of jizzcore. Pop music is dog shit.
Okay, here they are. It's Heat Rash.
Ronnie, Chinny, TP, Dale, and Nolan. Heat Rash.
I saw you standing by the menu center with a brand new pair of Lakers, baby. Do you remember? You took the first of the pieces of my heart. You wandered into a bush and grabbed a vodka and stank. Took our assets and our wealth and drew them out of the bag. I gave you little pieces of my heart. I didn't know two hearts could ever feel like this, girl. It's like you were custom made for me by Remington's fist. I take all of the loves that didn't last and leave them in the uneven past. Share the new future as my bride. You snatch me inside. There's no need to hide all the times that you cried. As my old man used to say, you blow me away. I just want you to stay. I don't want you to pay. You make me crazier than Neil today. On Liberation Night, girl, I was sitting beside you. We sat there shaking all the way through incisors. We held each other as things fell apart. We took a train through all the territories and we threw away the rules and wrote our personal stories. You took a dozen pieces of my heart. I didn't know that life could ever feel like this, girl. It's like you were custom made for me by Remington's fist. I take all of the loves that didn't last. I leave them there, the uneven past. Share the new future as my bride. Snatch me inside. There's no need to hide all the times you have cried. As my old mom used to say, blow me away. I just want you to stay. I just want you to play. You make me crazier than Neil. Make me crazier than Neil today. Staring at your membership card. There's your picture beaming brighter than a handful of flaws. I'm trying to find the pieces of my heart and leave them in the uneven parts. Share the new future as my bride. You snatch me inside. There's no need to hide all the times that you cried. As my old man used to say, you blow me away. I just want you to stay. I just want you to play. You make me crazier than Neil. Crazier than Neil. Crazier than Neil today.
Wow. Well, fantastic. Thank you, Heat Rash. That was actually really good. Best of luck. Thank you for coming in.
Now it's almost time for final thoughts tonight. And I've actually asked Stacey to write a few, and they're just being programmed onto the auto cue now. Now, I have no idea what she's going to say. So, fingers on that bleep button in the broadcast room, just in case. Take it away, Stacey.
My name is Stacey. I guess you know that by now. Don't know why I put that in there. Anyway. I don't watch the news. There's no need. You hear all the important stuff from your mates, so I don't know what's considered important anymore. But I'm pretty sure that it's not rehash movies boy bands, so anyway. I'm going to talk about what's important to me. When Advance were first elected 6 years ago, I was 9 and in a home. Not a family home like you call a home. This was a state children's home. It was, well, it was awful actually. It was like a Charles Dickens book. The roof leaked and the walls were damp some mornings. The food was bad. Drugs and alcohol were everywhere. No one cared. You had to watch your back all the time because there weren't enough staff to manage us. And yes, as you'd imagine, there was a lot of some bad stuff went down there with some of the staff, okay? Not all of them, but the others knew, and they didn't stop it. And then Advance won the election. And like a miracle, things started to change. They got better. We had nicer food. The home was not just repaired, but redecorated and kitted out with books and sports stuff and musical instruments and video games. Most of the staff were fired, and the new ones, which there were more of, spent time talking and working with the bullies. And you know what? A second miracle. It worked. The bullying stopped. My life, got better. Because finally, there was enough money to do the good things, and Advance had the guts to do it. I joined Go-Getters, and on Liberation Night, that gave me a group of friends that I could talk with when the bombs went off and the power went out. Another miracle. I wasn't alone anymore. And that was the night I finally understood the importance of being in a team. So here's my final thought. I know the people who were doing better under the old system long to go back. You say, we were freer, but what you mean is, we were richer. But for every one of you, there is 100 of me. And even now, after all you've had taken away, you are still doing better than I am, than I likely ever will. You still have homes of your own and families of your own who love you. And I'll never have that. So maybe you should stop looking for the worst interpretation of everything this amazing government does and realise it's not for you. It's for the millions like me. And you can cry and bleat all you want, but you're never going to get your money back because it's already been spent on miracles.
Stand by. Stand by. Stand by.
Let's keep making tomorrow better.
Although the fighting has long passed, the dark clouds of war still loom over our united lands. And we all know who forced our hand. The tyrants of the world would spread their oppression to our team. Their war has denied us the right to our children, even as they still refuse to feed their own. But they have underestimated us, for though they may have scarred our bodies, they will never damage our will or break our mutual bonds. Birth rates may be challenging, but happiness is everywhere. Satisfaction radiates from every metric. We are producing more and faster than ever before. We have more time to focus on our inner lives, for leisure, for art. We have less stress, and we are healthier than ever. Our new future is secure. We are strong together, as a community, a team, safe from the divisive despots beyond our borders for whom cohesiveness is an alien concept. Every day, across these territories, neighbours support neighbours, and friends reach out to friends, strengthening and protecting each other through cooperation, through unity, as one. Advance, always together.
It's movie time with the network television premiere of The Automated, last spring's smash hit movie from Lawrence Blunderclatch and the late Helena Canterbury Boatshoe. At 10:15, it's Julia Salisbury's Teen Talk, which tonight is on the subject of Gorders and the evils of their creative accounting. At 11 p.m, it's Lil C's Lil Chats, and tonight the former singer is asking Dr. Adrian Atkinson Blimey what he's been up to since the cancellation of Incisors. Apparently, it's mainly jigsaws and arson. At midnight, it's the full territorial weather, fertility and birth report, and that's followed at 12:20 by the Clenfillinogorth Valley Male Voice Choir debuting their first professional performance of the new territorial anthem to bring tonight's programming to a suitably uplifting close. SoCo. But now on One, it's time to hand over to Megan and the team for the nightly show.
Good evening and welcome to the Nightly Show. It's so good to have you with us tonight. I'm Megan and I'm joined as always by the inimitable Robin and Patrick. How are we?
Well, we have got so much going on tonight. I'm excited.
I'd say I'm about a 12, Megan.
On the excitement scale?
Yeah, exactly. We have got so much SoCo stuff coming up.
We sure do. We have celebrity chef Jordan Rankley, who will be cooking up a storm.
We'll be announcing the winners of our big competition, Visions of the Future.
And we'll be joined by a very special guest for a game of Wheel of Truth. And I'll even be showing you how to make your own Leaders' Day gifts. We've got all of that and so much more tonight on The Nightly Show.
Coming to you live from the Channel 1 buildings in the heart of the capital, it's The Nightly Show.
In a minute, our very own Patrick Bannon will be put through his paces by Chef Jordan Rankley. But first, we know you love them, so Robin's going to give us an update on our lovely Nightly Show pets in Pet Corner.
Well, Megan, first up we have our hamster, Lord Cheeks. Now, he's a squat winter grey with the scientific name Adipem stultus, and he lives here with us in this cage. Hamsters love hoarding, and they actually have special pouches in their cheeks for storing food. He loves carrots, apples, and chewing tobacco. Now, hamsters are nocturnal, so we'll do our best not to wake him up. But let's just see if we can... Oh. Well, the door has been left open. It looks as though Lord Cheeks has actually gone for a little wander, but I'm sure he will be around here somewhere. In the meantime, let's say hello to our tortoise. Now, after last month's viewer vote, she is now, of course, called Slow Barbara. And don't panic, even though it is December, Babs here doesn't actually hibernate. Let's say hello. Oh, she's sleeping. Oh. Babs? Those are our Nightly Show pets, Megan, both alive and well. Back to you.
Thanks, Robin. We'll check in on them, or some very similar animals at the same time tomorrow. Now then, I hope you're hungry, because if not, you're about to be. Patrick Bannon is with Chef Jordan Rankley, and they're going to be showing us how to knock up a delicious apple pie. It's time to go into the kitchen.
That's right, and I'm joined here by Chef Jordan Rankley. Welcome to the Nightly Show kitchen. How does it compare to the kitchens you're used to?
I love the colours. It's vibrant, it's fresh. It's a shame about all the Yes?
Sorry?
What?
So, you own 6 restaurants, you've been awarded 9 Ballon Massifs across your career, and you've worked alongside the best chefs in the world. Tonight you've got me. Oh, are you worried?
I'm worried. Are you worried? I'm worried.
Yes. So, what are we making today, chef?
So, we've got a family over for Leaders' Day. Yep. They're hungry. We're going to make them a delicious apple pie.
Ooh, lovely.
It's got sweetness, it's got the acidity of the fruit, and then you get the richness of that pastry. Incredible.
Wow, okay, so where do we start?
So we've got to start by making our filling. So we've got about 1 kilogram of fresh cooking apples here. Beautiful. And we're going to slice these up perfectly. Yep. And then straight into the pan.
So, your new show, Demon Kitchen Heart Eater, starts on Friday here on Channel 1. So, tell us about that.
So, teams of young chefs come into my kitchen, and one by one I destroy them emotionally. And if there's time, I teach them some basic knife skills. Patrick, what are you doing?
What?
Is that how you cut? You'll lose a finger.
Oh. Don't worry, I've got spares. Right, so once we've done that, we set these aside whilst we make the pastry. Yeah?
Yep. Bowl. Yeah? Okay. Sugar, butter.
Yep.
We mix that together, and then a whole egg.
Yeah. Okay, egg.
What are you doing, donkey? Are your brains the size?
Oh, no, chef.
No. Right. Mix that with a wooden spoon and work in that flour, okay? Work that into a nice ball of dough, just like that.
So, what does the notoriously fierce Jordan Rankley do to unwind?
The bed.
Yeah.
What's that? What is that?
Well, it's a bit lumpy.
Lumpy? It could for a sack of spuds. Touch that. Touch it. Yeah? Pathetic. That goes into chill. Now, we're mixing our filling.
Okay.
Apples, sugar.
Yes.
Cinnamon.
So, you own 6 restaurants across 5 territories. Which is your favourite?
Are you mixing that?
What?
Are you going to light a candle? Take it out to dinner? Mix it for sake. Right, now we're rolling out 2/3 of our pastry.
God.
Bit of flour into the dish.
And the filling goes next, right?
Absolutely right. Oh, lovely.
Okay.
Then we're taking the remaining pastry, rolling that into a round, and that goes on the top. Beautiful.
Lovely, okay.
Right. Brush a bit of water around the rim.
Right, yeah.
Beautiful. Now press gently all the way around. And we're cutting 5 slashes very carefully for the steam. And then brushing the whole thing with a beaten egg.
Lovely. Okay. Egg. Ta-da! What do you think?
Oh my God. You, come here, you. That's a disgrace. I'd rather jam my eyeballs up my than look at that.
Yeah.
I'd rather use my tongue to tie my shoes after a contest, do you understand?
Then it goes in the oven for 45 minutes.
Oh, put your head in the oven while you're at it. Useless. You, come here, you. You're the worst to happen to food since cyanide. Do you know that? I tell you what. Off. Oh. Get the out of here. Off.
Yes, okay, well, while I do that, let's go now to Megan and Robin, who will be announcing the winners of our competition, Visions of the Future.
Well, that looks delicious. If you want to follow along at home, then make sure you write in with a stamped, addressed envelope and we'll send you the fact sheet. So, Robin, look at all these amazing entries to the Vision of the Future competition.
Yes, we challenged you to show us your predictions of the future, and we were just inundated with entries, weren't we, Megan? From wacky inventions to global problem solving, they are all amazing, and we had the best time looking through each one.
It was so tough narrowing it all down, so we have some amazing runners-up. In third place, drum roll please, we have Hamish, who's 3 from Lunwelly. He calls this still life and the future of God, and it really blew us away. Just look at the line work here, and I can really feel every passionate stroke of the brush.
If you look here, you'll see a beautifully rendered, what I thought at first was a smiley face, or perhaps a cat. But I think if you really look, you'll see it's actually a representation of the seeming futility of death through the eyes of the living.
Indeed. He's also chosen to just leave a lot of it blank, which I think is really interesting. If you know Hamish and his work, of course, he loves focusing on the negative space rather than the image itself.
Stunning, absolutely stunning, and such talent from one so young, Megan. But next up, we have our second place entry. So in second, drum roll please, we have Keith, 41 from Dungleys. Yeah, Keith, we were sort of aiming this towards our younger viewers, but still, he has sent in his idea of the future, which he's calling Ravaged Earth.
Indeed, he says in his really rather detailed notes, deprived of basic resources, society will resort to a brutal system of weekly battles to the death where only the victor may breed. He also says at the bottom here, either that or about the same, but maybe a bit worse.
I really love his attention to detail. You can see the sort of gladiatorial arena, and then what I can only assume is Keith himself pulling off this chap's head and shouting, "Come back to me, Linda!" Oh, Keith, maybe if you spent more time outdoors and less time entering children's competitions, she might not have left.
Special one there. And finally, of course, it's time to reveal our winner. All our runners-up will receive a day out at an inflatable Happy Land on an industrial estate just off the A40. Sorry about that, Keith. But our lucky winner will win the chance to spend the day at the Department of Change to see how our teammates are actually making the new future a reality every day. And the winner is, drum roll please.
I'll help you with that.
I want to talk about Peter Clement. I didn't like him much. I thought his Man of the People act was just that, an act. But in the 6 years since he's been gone, I've started to wonder if he was the only thing keeping the brakes on the team. And I'm wondering if Julia Salisbury realises that when she reflects on his passing. Or worse, that she knew all along. Because then, of course, it's not reflection, it's motive.
This one seems to have gone a bit haywire in what I can only assume is an ominous sign of things to come. Lovely, Lola.
Well, if our winners have inspired you to make some artwork of your own, do keep sending them in, and yours could be displayed in our gallery here.
Well done again to everyone who took part. We're going to take a break now, but when we come back, we'll be playing the Wheel of Truth and making some lovely homemade gifts. Don't go away. We'll be back after this.
Good evening, I'm Dahlia Flywell, and welcome to the Daily Forecast. Starting off here in Territory 1, make sure you wrap up warm because we've got lows of 5 or 6 degrees. But as we head towards Leaders' Day later in the week, there's a 100% chance of festivity, as we saw 42 births today, a daily record of 4% fertility. Dwarfed, however, by a massive 9% fertility rate here in Territory 2, who saw an unbelievable 191 births today. Though a nasty cold snap brings bitter winds overnight, so not all sunshine and rainbows. No rainbows in sight over Territories 3 and 4, as a Category 2 storm warning means we advise our residents to spend their Leaders' Weekend indoors. Though we're sure the happy parents of the 12 new children in Territory 3 will be thanking their lucky stars for an excuse to stay home. Though, of course, nothing to do with stars, more of a hot air, cold air thing. Next, this front of warm smiles heads across Territory 5, who are still under a blanket of snow. Surely there'll be celebratory snowmen there tonight, as they also hit an impressive fertility peak of 23 new arrivals. And finally, an honourable mention to our team members of T7, with a stunning result showing 146 births and clear blue skies. Though be sure to grit your driveways, as we will hit freezing temperatures overnight. And that's all for your daily forecast tonight. As always, we'll be bringing you a more specific rundown of the numbers in your area later this evening as you join your regional news team in your territory. I'm Dahlia Flywell, wishing you and all our precious little team members a good night. Good night.
Welcome back to the Nightly Show. I'm sorry, we were just saying we can't wait to taste Patrick's pie.
Oh, I don't know, I think I could wait.
Well, here it is, fresh out the oven.
Well, it does look amazing. Jordan, how did our Patrick do?
Well, let's just say that pie's got more crust than my grandmother's.
Well, thank you for that. Well, come on, try it. Dig in.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew.
Oh my God. Oh Lord. Oh, that's really something, Patrick. That's delicious. But now you better go and get ready for that next feature. Every night we play a game of Wheel of Truth with our celebrity guests. But I know what you're thinking. Megan, we've only got one celeb guest. Well observed, viewers, well observed. Well then, I better bring her out. Should I? The surprise guest? What do you think? Here she is, best-selling author, lawyer and thinker. I mean, she's only the bloomin' team leader. It's Julia Salisbury.
Prime Minister Julia Salisbury.
Oh, welcome, Julia. It's so good to see you.
Oh, Megan, you look incredible.
Oh, stop it. I was just about to say the same thing. Now, don't get too comfortable. It's time to head over to Robin and Patrick as we play Wheel of Truth.
That's right, it's that part of the show where we pit our celebs against each other to see if we can break them.
That's right, Robin. They're gonna spin the wheel to pick a round, and it could be anything from box of flies to slap my face. They really have no idea what's in store.
So up first we have Jordan.
Oh.
Let's give it a spin.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay, let's see what you've landed on. Okay, it's fact or fib.
Fact or fib?
Jordan, is it true that you've been known to order takeaway for a dinner party and pass it off as your own cooking?
Spawn.
One time. Well, I think if that pie was anything to go by, you did them a favour.
Not so fast there, Julia. Fact or fib? We've heard you've got a very interesting way of saving time during the laundry.
Oh my God!
Go on, why don't you tell us about it?
You absolutely no, I can't. Okay, that's so.
Once, we fought and died for the right to an informed choice. We had journalists we could trust, so we made decisions for the common good. Then we took it for granted. And now we have bread and circuses. So eat your sandwiches and enjoy your clowns while you can.
No! Honestly, raise my taxes. We're clearly not paying you enough.
Come to my dressing room after the show. We'll sort you out.
All this talk of bras embarrassing you.
Blushing? I mean, I'm not blushing.
All right,
Come on then, you, Julia. Spin the bloody wheel.
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. It's Guess That Face. I'm going to show you a picture and you simply have to
Guess that face.
Okay, you ready? Here we go. Julia. Oh, who's that?
Oh my God!
Is that you?
Yes.
Oh.
Look, it was a very difficult time, fashion-wise.
That hairdo is
No, don't. I think it's sweet.
The mullet is as popular now as it's ever been.
Oh, well, don't get too ahead of yourself there. Jordan.
Oh.
Who
Oh.
is this? Does that look familiar at all?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad I was getting fashion advice from someone who managed to make 7 look like 85.
Where did you find that monstrosity? I look like I'm haunting the
Right. We've got to move on. Jordan, let's have another spin.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Oh,
it's my go,
Jordan, you go. Go on. Sorry, I'm so keen. The water's going so much.
Oh, well, you're in for a treat.
Yeah.
It's fat or fish. Okay, if you look under your podiums, you will find a lovely fish smoothie. Now, I'm going to ask you both a question, and all you have to do is answer it honestly, or else you'll have to drink the smoothie. Okay?
Okay.
Are you ready for the question?
Yes.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Which of your esteemed hosts is the more talented one? Oh, what a cop out! Oh, God.
How is it? How is it?
Fucking neutral.
Oh, we made it extra fishy.
I need my Do you know how much these taste buds are worth?
Well, we've got time for one more quick spin, so go, Julia, go! Here we go, my goodness. Okay, so, Julia, take a look in that box under your desk there.
I think Lord Cheeks is trying to get in on the game.
Oh,
bless him.
Julia, what have you got in that box? It's not cheese, is it? It's not cheese.
Juggling balls? What am I supposed to do with these?
Well, give it a go for us.
But I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing.
Oh, come on. Do it. Do it.
I want
Do
to
it. Do it. Do it. Oh, she's doing it. She's doing it.
Wow, that was so impressive. I have to say, unexpected. Well, gosh, that was our game of Wheel of Truth, and my God, wasn't that fun?
Okay, it really was, wasn't it? But now it's time to head over to Megan in Crafty Corner.
That's right, you've joined me in Crafty Corner, where today I'm going to be ably assisted by Julia. Come on over here. Goodness me, I don't know how you're keeping your dinner down. I can still smell that fish.
Well, to be honest, I've had worse. I used to eat at Peter Clement's house.
Oh, well, I hope you've got your artsy hat on, because today we're going to be making something very close to my heart. It's our little studio. Look at that. Isn't it adorable? All of us there on the sofa.
Wow. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh, is that all you in there?
Yeah, it is. If we can just get a little zoom in, there we are. Oh, I don't know about you, Julia, but I always leave my holiday shopping to the last minute.
Oh, every year. I do it every year.
Well, luckily these make amazing gifts. Shall we get cracking?
Oh, yes, please.
We're going to start with a shoe box here. And Julia, that's it. Grab those scissors. I just want you to get rid of this front panel here.
Perfect. Will do.
Are you big celebrators in your house, Julia?
Oh, yes. No, in my house, we show our love through food, like big dinners, loads of drink.
Absolutely right. That's the best bit about any holiday. It's all that food.
This bit as well.
Absolutely right. Cutting along the line there. Do be careful with the scissors at home. Make sure you're being supervised if you
tough.
are a child. There we go. Fabulous.
There we
go. Okay, so it's going to look a little something like this, and I've got one here I made earlier. We painted it with a bit of poster paint, white to match our lovely curtains here in the studio, but you can obviously have whichever backdrop you like.
Like a nice shiny gold number.
Well, exactly right. So we're going to make
bits of our set now to put in the studio, perhaps a little desk. So I'm just going to grab this piece of card. I've just got it from a little cereal box packet. I think I'll give you this one, Julia, shall I?
Thank you
There
so
you
much.
go. And all you need to do is cut along the
Lovely.
lines there. Fabulous. So what's the best part of any Leaders' Day dinner, do you reckon?
I don't even have to think about it. Really? I love the 3 potato pie.
3 potato pie? I don't know that one.
You know, with the chips covered in the mash or wrapped up in a jacket potato. Is that just me that does that?
I don't know, but that sounds starchy. Well done, Julia. So now she's folding over a little bit there. What it's going to look like at the end is this little rectangular shape there. And we're going to pop it in the middle. Bit of sticky tape on the back there so it sticks down. Now we need a sofa. That's what we need next. We're going to make that out of a lovely paper cup.
Knocking
down there.
everything
Knocking it all over.
I got one though, Megan.
Good, fantastic. You're just going to cut along the line here, down the middle. Exactly right. Then when you've done that, around the bottom and again around the top. Well done. When you're done,
oh, there we go.
It's going to look a little something like this. And look what I've done there. I've stuck some felt down. Nice and comfortable sofas.
Yes, can't have our tiny Megan having an uncomfortable sofa, can
Well,
we?
absolutely not.
She'll be on the phone to her tiny agent and getting someone tiny fired.
Oh, there's only one thing missing, isn't there, Julia? What is that?
A higher calibre of guests.
Nearly. It's people. So all we've done to make our little people is we've stuck a cocktail stick into a bottle cap. We just need a face for that now. I've got a good one here. I know it well. It's me.
Lovely.
I'm going to stick it down there. A little bit of sticky tape. Oh, my felt's going everywhere. There we go. Oh, I'm a bit lonely. Let's take Robin and Patrick over. Sitting down on the couch over there.
There you go. And well, I'll make myself just comfortable just there. Yeah, there we go.
And these, of course, are all
Lovely.
made and cut out of our favourite newspapers or magazines, so you can have any guests you like. Julia, is there anyone else you'd like in a studio?
Oh, yes. Well,
Go on then.
I'm going to be playing Wheel of Truth with Ronnie from Heatrash.
Nice.
Yes, put that away. Yes, he's going to be teaching me choreography, and I'll be teaching him foreign policy.
And of course, you can decorate them however you want. Perhaps you're a bit, I don't know, nostalgic for the old look of our studio. We've got the blue studio down there. Or even a bit of retro red. I've got Sheila Quickstep being interviewed there by... Sorry, that's not supposed to be...
Oh, well, we're out of time, I'm afraid, Megan. It's time for a break. When we come back, I'll be on the couch of chat talking to some of you, and I just cannot wait. We'll be back after these messages. I'm so pleased to announce that the audiobook of the first volume of my autobiography, Advancements by Julia Salisbury, is now available for all. These stories from my formative years and the uneven past are lovingly narrated by national treasure.
Morning about what to wear for school. Not all schools had uniforms back then, so I wondered what would best show off my emerging womanly curves. After much pacing, and I confess, a few tears, I settled on the zip-back, boxy pleated skater skirt in dark blue with white sweetheart blouse and the necklace Harry had given me when we'd met in the woods and I'd allowed him to frolic in my glades.
It's an honest account of my childhood, because in the new future, there's no need for secrets.
There was just so much injustice in the world, I realized, as Portia Hamilton Mann lured my best friend into the convertible her daddy had bought her for Easter. How had I failed to predict the perils of being the poorest postgrad at Poshborough?
Over the course of 3 compact discs or just 22 cassette tapes, you can experience a childhood under the old regime and, like me, understand why we can never go back.
Oh, the horror. 15 minutes before the most important speech of my career, and I had stained my high-cut lady trousers. Waves of nervous nausea seized me, like Harry did on that night when I let him touch me in the thicket. I thought I may cry, but fate intervened in the form of a dashing, young, up-and-coming television presenter named Peter Clement.
Welcome back to the nightly show where it's time for the Prime Minister to face the toughest critics in the territories. You lot out there.
Call us on the usual numbers with your questions for the Prime Minister.
First up, we have Humphrey from Hamble Bamblebury.
Lovely place. I'm hoping to retire there.
Oh, good choice.
Are you there, Humphrey?
Hello, Humphrey.
We appear to have lost Humphrey. We'll try and get him back, but let's go to another call in the meantime. Who have we got next, Patrick?
Next up, we've got Mandy from Arsminster. Oh, I don't think I'll be retiring there.
Hi, Mandy. You're through to the Prime Minister. What's your question?
Hello? Mandy? What's going on, Jenny?
Oh, we try not to talk to the crew.
Jenny?
The lines are down.
Oh, well, call down to maintenance and get...
We can't. All the lines are down.
Well, apologies to our viewers at home. We seem to have a few technical gremlins making mischief behind the scenes. So while we're getting back up and running, Patrick has a couple of questions that were sent in by our viewers earlier this week.
I do?
It's your letters.
Oh, yes. yes, no, of course I do. Well, our first question is from Patricia, who lives on Camera Avenue. And what she really wants to know...
Lock the door!
Don't!
Lock
Don't do this, Lucio! Seal the doors! You're Jenny, aren't you? Come here. Don't be afraid, Jenny. We're not here to hurt you. We're not here to hurt anyone if we don't have to. All I want you to do is to keep the show on the air. Do you understand? Just do your job and everything will be all right, okay?
Don't be afraid, Jenny.
You two, on your knees over there. Move! So, this is the famous couch of chat, eh?
I
Good.
don't answer questions at gunpoint, Mr. James.
Oh. You're not at gunpoint, Prime Minister. They are.
Oh, please don't kill me, please. Nevertheless, if you think I'm going to answer to you, then I'm
Oh,
afraid
you don't
you'll
have to answer to me, Julia. Are the doors locked and sealed?
Yes, sir. No one's getting in or out.
Good. Good. All clear.
Good. Thank you. Yes, good.
Jeremy?
Hello, you.
Why didn't you make contact?
We've only put you in their crosshairs. I'm sorry.
You're a rotten, selfish bastard.
Yes. Keep the show going for me.
Of course.
Let them go, Alan. There'll be no killing tonight.
Hello. Sorry, I don't think we've met. I'm Patrick Bannon.
Is that what you're telling yourself, is it? Sorry for barging in. Hate what you've done with the place.
Me too. Would you like your spot?
It's yours now. You wear it well. So, let's talk, shall we?
Armed security are on their way, Mr. Donaldson. I know you know that.
Well, we best make use of the time we have then, eh?
Well, I'll leave you to it then.
No. I think you should stay too.
For safety.
For balance. Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Let's welcome back the National Nightly News. Tonight I'm joined by probably the two most influential people in the country, if not the continent. So let's see if we can't kick over a few rocks and see what's lurking underneath. Prime Minister, if I could turn to you first.
I have nothing to hide.
Except that which is already hidden. Prime Minister, what is norethindrone?
I beg your pardon?
Norethindrone. It's used in birth control, among other things. If you haven't heard of that, perhaps you could enlighten us in regards to Agrobacterium tumefaciens.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, Mr. Donaldson.
Well, that suggests a lack of attention to detail, Prime Minister. It's a bacterium used in the genetic modification of an organism. And I found traces of both these substances in every single one of the menu centre food boxes that I've had analysed, from across the territories, if you're wondering.
What exactly are you suggesting?
I'm not suggesting anything, Prime Minister. I'm just pointing out the facts.
Oh my God. Is that why Kate and I can't have...
So you blamed it on the radioactive clouds from your bombs?
Before Stacey, we tried so many times.
Prime Minister, is there something wrong with the food?
Fine. You want the truth? You think it'll help your viewers sleep at night? Well, here it is. 6 years ago, when we came to power, we got access to the real facts and figures. And they told us we were doomed. The population was expanding at an unsustainable rate. Within 50 years, we would be out of natural resources. We would war over fuel, and then inevitably food and clean water. It was no exaggeration to say that we were facing extinction. It was supposed to be opt-out contraception, an end to unwanted children, a chance to rebalance. But something went wrong in the testing phase. Nature took over. I never wanted this.
So you covered it up and blamed the sterility on the bombs?
Oh, please don't lecture me on morality, Mr. James. Your hands are far too dirty for that.
Disrupt only did what had to be done.
Disrupt are not the answer. You'll just take us to an even more extreme version of where we were before. Your miserable policies will kill us all.
I'm not the one who built the transition centres.
No, you're from a time where people didn't even have the basic right to choose how and when to die.
Children against their parents.
We enabled young people to speak up about the abuse that they were facing. And guess what? Most of that abuse came from within their own families.
Identity cards!
Oh, grow up!
You sterilised us against our will.
I built a sustainable future.
That's too much. That's not for you to choose.
Well, if not me, then who? Who would choose it for themselves?
And isn't that at the heart of all this? You don't trust us to choose. You think you know best, you know what's good for us, and if we disagree with you, then you'll send us to betterment. That's why there's no news anymore, because there's no choice, so there's no point.
There should be elections.
Elections have been suspended.
Time to unsuspend them then. If you want to carry on, you'll need a mandate. We have people ready to stand against you in every territory.
So, let's turn to you, Mr. James.
Yes. I want to assure the public that though Disrupt are occasionally forced to violent means, we are not by nature a violent organisation.
Jenny? Yes, Jeremy?
Could you have this queued up for us, please?
Of course, Jeremy. It'd be a pleasure.
Is that from Disrupt leadership?
In a way. Mr. James, before you launch into your rather premature election campaign, I think it'd be useful for the viewers at home if you were to also answer a question or two.
Of course. When we come to power, one of the first things we'll do is restore a free press. The truth is very important. No more hidden secrets.
If you say so. From whom do you take your orders, by the way?
I beg your pardon?
Well, you're Disrupt's spokesman, but for whom do you speak?
You know I can't tell you. It's too dangerous for me to say.
Don't worry. I don't share those concerns. You see, I've met with them almost 5 years ago now, back when I was a news anchor. And I also met with them a week ago to discuss tonight's activities. I think they wanted to check that I'd stick to the script, which really shows how little they know me. So this time, I wore a hidden camera. Would you like to see a little of what we discussed?
No, you can't. She'll have them arrested. They'll be dead by morning.
Not an unfair assessment.
Fortunately, it's not up to me. It's up to Alex in the broadcast room. What screen, Jenny?
Screen 4.
No, you can't. My people will stop you. Cut the power to your machines.
Well, I would imagine mine will be doing their level best to ensure that Mr. Donaldson's footage gets the airing it deserves. After all, my security forces will be here soon, and I imagine this will end very badly for all of you.
Thank you, Jenny. Alex, showing this will have consequences. But so will not showing it. It's up to you.
Alex, you got us this far. Please don't fall at the last hurdle. If you show that footage, all our good work, all the years of disrupting, you could make it all for nothing. Please, don't play that footage.
And you're absolutely certain in your research?
It's unpalatable but true. Advance are covertly sterilising the population.
Why don't you just release this through your normal channels?
Mr. James is surprisingly efficient rabble-rouser. The peasants respond to his more earthly qualities. But you, Mr. Donaldson, are a face they trust.
We did not risk our operatives' lives to rescue you out of altruism.
And afterwards? Once all this is out in the open?
We anticipate considerable unrest, possibly riots.
Followed, of course, in the restoration of democratic elections, under our control, of course.
Nature abhors a vacuum. You, Mr. Donaldson, will create that vacuum, and we should be there to fill it.
That will take considerable resources. From what I understand, Advance took your wealth.
The visible billions, yes.
Some markets still prosper.
There will always be addicts.
And those with carnal desires for livestock of all ages. A lucrative business indeed.
And then there are the foreign powers, outside the territories. Those who fear to follow the fate of my glorious Erkistan. For them, no price is too high.
Folks like us are always well-resourced. You need have no concern about that. We have the required funds to fight and to win.
And once the fight is done, to make sure this aberrance is never seen again. A return to the natural order of things. The wheat rises to the top and the chaff is burned away. No more living side by side with ill-educated savages. Let the plebs pile up in the ghettos.
Yeah.
Strict order, an end to ungodly acts. Everyone back in their place.
Including our Mr. James. It amazes me how he cannot hear the Damoclean sword as it dangles above his head.
Oh, he's an ignorant bull. He sees only the red cape in front of him, never the hidden blade.
And so it is with the low orders. They are lost in this new world.
They will gladly walk back to Old One, and they will be ours again, as it should be.
Excellent.
Excellent.
You set me up.
No, Alan, you did that to yourself.
Now do you understand what you're doing?
Do you understand why we have to?
Pathetic. Neither of you recognises your own reflection.
How long, Jenny?
Not long, I imagine, for any of you.
Security are outside. They've been here for 5 minutes, but they're not doing anything. Turns out there's a lot of them who wanted children. We're already a few minutes over, Megan, but with ratings like this, Bozeman's no fool.
Do you want to take us out?
It should be you.
It should be both of us. You start.
Before we go tonight,
one final thought.
There's so much to digest here. What's happened tonight in this political circus?
The tent is collapsing and the ringmasters have lost their glitter.
There will be elections. Soon, I'd imagine. You'll be able to choose.
These two will run. A choice between a sandwich and a cold cup of sick. A circus of horrors.
Two extremes, both offering their own form of misery.
You can choose Advance and be equal.
In cages, like performing lions.
Or disrupt and be free.
To struggle and starve.
Or you can do something different. You can run. You can stand. You can stop promoting the way things are and change it.
You're good people, and you are sensible people. You know the difference between right and wrong.
So stop whinging and do something. Take responsibility, because if you don't, it'll all be left to these clowns.
And that's the worst circus of all.
My name's Jeremy Dawson.
And I'm Megan Wolf.
Have a transformative night.
And then make tomorrow better.
We have never been closer, happier, healthier, and the team has never been stronger.
But there are those who would seek to separate and destroy us.
They think they can infiltrate us, that they can drive apart our bonds of family, friendship, and community.
But we see them, moving among us, clear as day, sowing division, undermining our lives and threatening our achievements.
They use freedom of speech to justify their discriminations.
They use tradition and history to justify their need to oppress.
They want more than their fair share.
They put themselves before the team.
In a disrupt world, they would decide what women do with their bodies.
They would decide what kinds of relationships are natural.
They would exploit the vulnerable for personal gain.
And they would eradicate betterment in exchange for a noose.
They see themselves and their narrow view of life as the default, as the status quo, predetermined and inevitable.
They would see themselves at the top of a hierarchy built to enrich, empower and protect their hoard, carried on the backs of the poor, of the different, of us.
But we are a team, and we say no.
It is our duty to protect our community. Report your disruptive neighbours immediately. Advance. Strong together.
There was a time before
evening, I'm Jeremy Johnson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. Our main stories tonight.
The votes are in, and it's a decisive win for Accord. The new centralist party snatched victory from under the noses of the mainstream parties.
Incoming Prime Minister Fatima Chowdhury called Accord's win proof that the major parties had lost the trust of the nation and signalled the end of extremist politics.
Neither Advance nor Disrupt, who failed to garner even 10% of the vote between them, have released a statement.
Later, we'll be looking in detail at the election results across the nation before Jeremy brings us a report on the recent unrest in Valdez.
That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.